Hello everybody, this is Swiss. Welcome back to another session with me. Today I'm going to talk about the new builder tool functionality that is in beta right now, so I'm curious to see if this is something that we need to be paying attention to already now, or if this is something that is more like an announcement to keep us, in the loop of what's happening. Let's have a look at that today, just after the intro. Let's go. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in today. This is going to be a relatively short update. I've already checked out the new in-world builder tool following this blog post. It came out a couple of days ago. There was a tweet by the DCL team and they briefly describe what is going to change in that builder tool ecosystem. Apparently it's now going to be accessible through Decentraland directly. But let's back up for a second. Until now, we have been able to access the builder tool through the builder link on the decentraland.org website. Now, this is going to change. If you want to change anything on your scene, you will be able to access that builder tool through this blue icon here at the bottom right. I believe you will not be able to see that in the recording because my head is right on top of it unless I manage to move myself and make myself a little bit smaller here. So there is this icon here at the bottom right. It's blue, and if you click it, it will open up. And yeah, here you go. They say it's in beta. It will open up the scenes that you are either an owner of or an operator of. So if I just click on editor to the main Swiss building, it will actually open up the builder tool directly from in-world. I think this is very convenient, and I think this is also much more intuitive for newer players. It probably was kind of strange for people to actually edit a scene with the older builder tool in the back end of the website and then having to kind of jump in world to see it. Whereas now, and by the way, they look very much alike here as you can see, but right now we are on the URL directly in world, whereas here we are on a separate subdomain outside the world. But they do kind of look alike. If you're new to Decentraland, you might not even notice the difference at first. But let me show you some of the key differences that I'm able to recognize right now. So one of the main issues for me personally with the original builder was that when you select some kind of object, and sometimes these objects can also be hidden behind the glass or maybe behind the surface, it's impossible to select these objects without actually having a direct line of sight where you would have to then carefully select a sofa on the inside. Now actually there is a useful list for these kind of issues. Now we actually have an entity list of all of the objects inside the build, so we can select them directly from the list. Now this is super convenient, especially if you have a more complex building. So this is a major change, and I think this is going to really help the usability of the tool. Another thing was really cumbersome is that when you select an object in the original tool, if you want to move it, let's say, you sometimes will not be able to properly catch that arrow to move it around, especially if you zoom in, rotate and zoom out while trying to navigate the view. Then sometimes you will not be able to select any of these arrows at all, and this would often mess up your project because you would suddenly drag something else into a different place, and this would just be super annoying mentally. Now this has been solved with the new tool. It looks like if we select any kind of object, the actual arrows are huge in size, so it's very easy to select those, and they do not seem to change in behavior when you rotate or zoom. They're always there, easy to select. So I think just these two changes would be awesome from my point of view, would be already enough. But there is more stuff. What's really cool now is that you can actually lock a specific item and make it invisible. Now in this particular case it didn't do much, but what if I want to work on the building but I do not want to see that outer shell? And maybe I could just lock it and hide it. And let me just try that. So I already did lock it, and now if I hide it, I only see the inside of the building, which is super helpful. This wasn't possible before. So I think this is another change that I really welcome. Now, again, this whole tool is in beta, so I think we are not seeing all of the functionality just yet, but just for these changes, it would be a huge improvement for the user experience. Let me summarize that real quick. The tool is accessible through in-world, not externally. The tool has a list of entities that you can easily select. The tool allows you to lock and make things visible or invisible, which allows you to work on larger builds very comfortably. And you have all of the asset packs easily available to you here on the right. Now this was also the case with the original environment, but I think it's just a little bit better organized, a little bit smaller in size, especially if you're going to develop a lot of different asset packs, or if you download some of our asset packs at dcl.builders, you can just comfortably access those assets directly from here going forward. So I think overall the tool has gotten better. Now on the bottom here, I'm not sure what these numbers mean from 1 to 9. There is going to be some kind of possibility to deposit things or interpose things. There's going to be some kind of functionality here, which I don't know what it is. Maybe it is also a way of accessing shortcuts. What I noticed is that the smart tools are still not accessible in this beta version. Now the smart tools allowed us originally to make objects move inside a scene. Because otherwise, without the smart objects, the only way to make an elevator work would be with the help of the SDK. For that, you would need to learn how to program, at least the basics. And this has quite a steep learning curve. I've done a little bit of SDK deployment. It's not that straightforward for the regular user. So I'm really happy that we now have an updated builder tool, and obviously an intention to continue building out this functionality for the majority of the everyday users in Decentraland. So I think these are the major changes, guys. I hope this was useful. I would like to say goodbye at this point, and I see you soon in another video. Take care, goodbye, and thank you. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe now. We are about to reach 500 people on the channel. Really happy about that. And a like would always help getting more exposure to new viewers as more and more people are joining Decentraland. All right, guys, have a nice day. Bye-bye.